Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel. This is Michelle and today I am showing you what I did with day 17 stencil in the Art by Marlene advent calendar. So this is my little tag that I made. The stencil is a sea themed one. So I must say I did struggle with this one. I've never been good journaling with creatures or animals. Normally, I would journal quite abstract or with faces. That's my comfort zone. So I really did struggle with this one. I remember with the little stencil with the owl on, I also really struggled with that. So I have started by gessoing my entire page black. I chose gesso because I thought I would do some coloring in over the top, and this gesso has a really nice grit to it, so doing coloring over the top is quite easy. And then I'm going to use just the, I guess, wave patterns on the stencil, and I'm just going to fill my entire page with these abstract kind of squiggles and dots. And I'm just trying to fill in as much of the space as I can. And I'm turning my stencil here and there and everywhere, making sure that I fill the gaps and there's no huge obvious gaps around. And then I'm going to give it a little bit of a dry. I'm going to shake up my Duo acrylic marker from Marlene, and I'm just going to paint in all of those shapes that I had with the white, because the idea was that I would go over the top with paints. Now, I wish I had the range of the acrylic markers, the colored ones from Marlene, because this page would have been much easier if I had, but I don't. So I used her paints and it turned out all right in the end. Okay, so I'm just going to go and brighten up everything, and then I'm going to start adding color. You might have seen at the beginning of my video, at the little thumbnail, I chose the quote that said, "See potential," for this page. And that really spoke to me because I had to look hard to find something to do with the stencil that I thought I would be happy with. Before I get back to that, I am adding all of the gaps that I can see. I'm adding little triangles and dashes and more dots because I'm just trying to fill the spaces and create some interest. And then I'm going to start blending my colors. So first I'm starting with a couple of different pinks, then I'm going to go in with different oranges. And while I do that, because it is a repetitive process, I've got the first layer and then I'm going to dry the layer and go over it again. So I thought while I'm busy doing that, I'll just chat to you about making your products work for you. So I've said I struggled with the stencil. It's not one that I would have chosen. Like if I had to walk into a store and see the stencil, it would definitely not have made my shopping basket. And at first when I opened it, I was like, oh, I don't know what I'm going to do with this. And there was a moment where I thought, I'm not going to do anything with it. I'm not going to use it. But then I thought, no, I'm part of this challenge. I want to use it. The whole idea of getting these beautiful stencils every day is to challenge ourselves, to find ways to work with them and to make them work. If you love animal stencils or using animals in your work, then I'm sure this is your very happy day. But yeah, I struggle. So I was happy that there were some abstract kind of shapes on there as well, because after I took a moment and I looked for the potential, I could see it. And in the end, I'm quite happy with this page and how it turned out. So you'll just see me building up the colors and building up the colors. And while I'm building up the colors, I thought I would tell you a little bit more about myself. I've been married for almost 20 years. I've had 2 kids and I've homeschooled my kids all throughout their whole schooling career. My daughter has just finished school, so 1 down and 1 to go. I am a rebounding instructor by profession and also a nutritional coach. So I'm quite into fitness and health and nutrition and helping my clients reach their full potential that way, health-wise. If you don't know what rebounding is, you might know it as a mini trampoline, but it is actually called a rebounder. And we incorporate things like Pilates, yoga, CrossFit, aerobics. We incorporate all of that on a rebounder to make a really fun, effective workout that's not boring and that people are excited to come to. So that's what I do. If you were interested at all, now you know. And of course, my side hobby is then also doing art, and I do some art classes that I give sometimes here and there. Okay, so now that I've got all the colors done and now that you know a little bit about me, I'm going in with my coloring pencils to try and shade these colors a little bit better. So on all of my shapes, I did use a darker and a lighter color to try and get that shading done. But I did find it quite difficult. I think it's because it's so small that I found it difficult to blend the colors well. So I thought I'd go over with my coloring pencils and just try and boost the colors a little bit. And for each color, I'm just using 2 pencils. So in the pink, I've got a darker pink and a lighter pink. The same with the purple, blue, and the green as well. And it's a funny thing. Sometimes these pencils go really, really well over the paint, and then other times it doesn't. I don't think it's the paint. I do suspect it's got something to do with the pigment in the pencil. So the purple went on really well and the darker blue one went on really well. But then some of the others I struggled a bit. When I've had my shading done, I'm just going around all the edges, neatening them up a bit where I've had some spillage of the paint and where I've maybe not stenciled, where I've gone over the stencil a little bit. And it just makes those images pop. And once I'm done faffing with that, I will go in and do a little highlight on each one of my figures. I'm not doing it on every single tentacle. I'm not being very specific about which way the direction of the light is going. I'm just going in and adding more brightness to the page. And this is where the page came alive. I'm adding dots straight from the neon pink paint tube, trying to fill in more of the gaps where I obviously can't get into with a paintbrush. And I'm doing that with the pink and I'm doing that with the white. And I really, really am happy that I chose to go in with the white as well. It just makes everything pop. It just brings everything to life. And it was easier for me to fill in those gaps with the paint tube than it would have been with a brush. And once I've done that, I'm giving everything a quick dry just so I don't smudge it. I'm obviously not going to put any pressure on here, or I'm going to be quite careful with it. And now I'm going to look for a quote. And at first I thought the "don't quit" could work, but I thought it was a bit too dark. And then eventually I found the "see potential," and that really spoke to me because I did manage to find the potential. Let me know what you think about today's stencil. I would love to know how you feel about using figures like animals in your work? Are you happy to do that? Or are you more of an abstract journaler? I'd love to hear from you. Thank you for being here. Please subscribe if you haven't done so. Give me a like, leave a comment, and I will see you again tomorrow. Bye.